note. For our next segment, we have an effortlessly delightful leader here to let you know on how you can delight the digital first customer with effortless customer service. Let's give it up for Mr. Maurice Carvalho, Territory Sales Lead, Freshworks.
All right.
Mr. Carvalho, what a pleasure to have you with us.
Would be changing slides.
Yep, that's for you, entirely for you. Mr. Carvalho, not so easy. We cannot let you in so easily. So there's one question waiting for you for which we, by now, you know, short, super brief, non-tech answer on. What is that one inexpensive thing, not expensive, one inexpensive thing, place, animal, feeling, whatever is it, you decide, that never fails to delight you?
Oh, okay, that's a very difficult question, I would say.
It could be like, for me, it is Rajma Chawal with dahi. Delicious.
For
What
me,
is
I
that?
would say a run in the morning.
Wow.
Nothing, that feeling of enthusiasm,
Yeah.
that high that you get after a run in the morning, nothing like it.
Fantastic, fantastic. And on that note, thank you so much. Stage is all yours.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that great introduction. It's a privilege being out here. My name's Maurice Carvalho. I'm a part of Freshworks, and I'll primarily be focusing today as to how we can go about delighting our digital-first customer, making use of a very important and leveraging a very important tool in our arsenal, that is the customer service platform. Coming over to, before we get into the entire presentation, I'd like to start off with a short story. Just like every Avenger superhero has their own origin story, today at Freshworks, we have our own origin story. So this story dates back to 2008, 2009. Freshworks had just not even started. Our founder, Mr. Girish Matrabhutam, was based out in US and had decided, okay, I want to relocate back to India. So he moved his entire possessions and entire family to India. And once the dust had settled and he was unpacking, he noticed that one of his prized possessions, which was a huge 50-inch Samsung LED TV, that was damaged. But he wasn't too disturbed because he knew that, okay, I have insurance. All that I need to do is call up the insurance company and claim my insurance. So just like anyone out of us here, he called up the insurance company, and the first thing they asked him were a plethora of questions, which he did respond to. And they hung up the call at the end, telling him that we'll look into it and we'll get back to you. Week passed, he didn't really get a response, so he decided, okay, why don't I mail the company? He mailed the company, got a very similar response saying that we are still looking into it. He again called up the company after another week. Guess what? Now we know the drill. It was back and forth, calling, emailing. This entire process went on for 5.5 months. And at the end of the 5.5 months, Girish was frustrated. He had decided I've had enough. He went up to Twitter, and this was back in 2008, 2009. Twitter was at its nascent stage. He wrote a long post, long rant to be specific, and CC'd all the top officials at that particular company. And to his luck, it caught media attention. A lot of folks within the industry started retweeting it, and the insurance company reached out to Girish, and his claim was processed in 2 days. Is this a scenario that we come across very often in today's world, right? But what stuck with Girish during this entire journey were two important things. One, the importance of a digital-first platform, being able to go on a digital platform and the responsiveness that he received. And second, more from an agent perspective, the entire courteousness of the agents. He understood from an agent perspective, they were trying to help him, but they were just not empowered enough. So keeping these 2 points in mind, let's get started with what our experience today looks like. So if I fast forward the needle by 14 years, and a question to the audience, has our customer experience today changed? So if I have to ask by a quick raise of hands, how many of you all say yes, that our customer experience has today changed drastically since 14 years back? Huge number of audience. How many of you will say no, our customer experience continues to be the same? Very few of us. Absolutely. Our customer experience today has changed, but what has also changed is customer expectations. Today, whenever we call up a Swiggy customer support or a Zomato customer support, we expect that they already know what our problem is before we even call up. They know what our order is. And expectations today have changed drastically. And every customer today expects a very personalized support over any channel they reach out to, be it Twitter, be it Facebook, or be it even a call. At the same time, if we look at from an agent perspective, has that experience changed? No. Agents continue to today toggle across multiple tools, multiple platforms. And to compound this, what has added to this entire problem is the number of queries that are coming to agents have gone up drastically. So the amount of time agents get to spend on each query has resulted in burnout and high agent attrition, something that I think we have seen across the board. So these 2 points coupled together has resulted in a very broken CX experience that we see today. If we have to look at it from a numbers perspective, McKinsey and Forrester tells us that customers want to reach out to us via different channels. They would like to reach out to us via channels of their choice. While what I would like to focus is on that middle number, that is 80%, which primarily tells us that customers are more loyal to brands that provide a personalized experience. And in today's world, wherein the cost of customer acquisition is going through the roof, it becomes all the more important that we focus on a customer service aspect to ensure that customers remain loyal to us. Coming over to how does the agent experience look at from a numbers perspective, we see that volumes of tickets are going up, and for every 100 additional tickets, the CSAT drops by 1%. While agents continue to complain, both numbers here tell us that agents continue to complain that the experience today that they have over their customer support platforms is not ideal. They continue to operate across multiple platforms. So if I tie back to the initial story of the broken TV, what we see is that as Freshworks at a very early stage, our focus were two important aspects of this entire supply chain. It was primarily the agents and our customers. And how has that translated into our products? So the first and most important is today we make it as easy as possible for our customers to reach out to us by the channel of their choice. It could be a WhatsApp channel, it could be Facebook, Instagram, call, chat, whatever is more convenient to them. Another very important aspect that I was thinking, when we talk about a digital first customer, what is the first thing that comes to our mind? Somebody, a customer, the persona is primarily that of somebody who is located in a tier 1 or a tier 2 city, very tech savvy, educated, and knows how to place orders online. However, in today's India, this is not always the case. Today's India, everyone, even in the most remotest village today, has a smartphone. They have a WhatsApp connection. And we have cases wherein people located in some of the most remotest villages are reaching out to us and receiving the same level of customer service as compared to someone who's located in a tier 1 and tier 2 city. And that is the differentiated experience that we'd like to provide. And this is happening on a real-time basis, a live chat support. Like in the olden times, we don't have to wait for 2 hours, 3 hours. The customer knows that I have somebody on the other end who is ready to help me out now itself. Coming over to how does this look from an agent perspective? From an agent perspective, there's one centralized omni-channel window that agents sit out of. No matter where the customer raises the query, agents sit out of just one window and they respond to customer queries. We take it one step further by helping the agents with all these details. Customer conversation history, what were the last set of tickets that this customer had raised, how was it resolved, what was the CSAT. We also help them with the customer profile. This becomes very important in providing a very personalized experience. So for example, if I'm an agent and I know my customer is well-versed in Hindi and I'm able to interact with in Hindi, that entire experience goes through the roof. And that is what we are trying to achieve. And finally, we do understand that Freshworks won't always have all the data with us. So that is why we have built an open API platform wherein data can always be brought in from other systems. It could be brought in from your CRM system, from your ERP system, or any other system that you might have. And the advantage of this, at the end of the day, an agent has a complete customer 360-degree view at their fingertips to respond to any query that the customer may pose to them. After this, what is even more important that we did realize as a company we grew was agents are our first level of defense. However, they are not our only level of defense. Agents have to depend on other teams as well. They have to interact with procurement teams, warehousing teams, sales teams, different set of teams. So that's wherein we launched something we call collaborators, wherein different teams can interact over one ticket or one query as well as maintain context. Because what we normally saw is these entire conversations were held in offline channels. It could be an instant messenger, which could be Slack or MS Teams, and the context was getting lost. By doing so, we were able to maintain context and also allow responsibilities and SLAs to be passed on to other teams. This is primarily from an agent perspective that makes their life a lot more easier. So what we've seen in this entire discussion, we've seen agents sitting out of one window, wherein they get an entire omni-channel experience. Second, we've seen how customer information can be presented to the agents. And the third aspect, agents being able to collaborate with other team members. At Freshworks, we always thought, okay, how can we take this one step further? That's wherein we launched the entire concept of empowering these agents using AI. If we are able to automate responses to a lot of the frequently asked queries, what we are able to do is we are able to reduce the workloads of agents. And that's exactly, we have clients like PhonePe, who today have been able to reduce close to 60% of workloads that would have been passed to agents by making use of our chatbots. So, and that has been one of our biggest successes. The other successes that we have seen are primarily with regards to leveraging the existing knowledge base. Within all of our companies, we have a very extensive knowledge base. But how many times do we leverage that? And that's wherein the entire AI aspect comes in, by providing agents with the most relevant solution to whatever query has come in. Another very interesting thing I would say is providing agents with assistance. So if you look at agents today, they primarily tend to depend on SOPs, other agents, and supervisors. What if we made an assistant that is available to them and they didn't have to depend on other members within the organization? So that's wherein the entire agent assistant aspect comes in, and we have been able to reduce the dependency as well as the effort needed from other team members within the organization. And we are just getting started when it comes to AI. We'll see a lot more developments coming into the future. It is just the start. So coming to what does the bottom line to us look like? On one hand, like I mentioned, customer experience is of utmost importance for us. And what metrics would we look at improving? Primarily the CSAT and NPS. From an agent perspective, by improving the entire agent experience, we are looking at retaining more of these agents, improving their job satisfaction scores. And both of these coupled together, it helps us in providing higher lifetime customer value. And this is the model that we have been able to replicate across a lot of our clients today, to the extent that we've gone and built out not only CX platforms, but even employee experience platforms today, employee experience and even sales CRM platform. And what does that success look like from a clientele perspective? These are just some of the clients that we cater to. And what you see is a very diverse set of clients, from government organizations, BFSI, a lot of digital natives companies that we tend to use on a daily basis are our customers today. But one thing that we do realize that today, everybody has a very unique use case. Everybody has their own unique set of challenges. So the entire engagement from a Freshworks perspective is to work with you all to understand what are your challenges and then work towards resolution of those challenges. So I'd like to conclude 2 minutes before time, my entire presentation. And I would like to discuss with you all offline as to what are some of the challenges that you all face, and as Freshworks, how we can help you all resolve those challenges. Thank you. Thank you for being a wonderful audience.